The gravity well was not a nice place. It sat on the lowest deck of Nexus Station, where the air always smelled like oil and strange alien foods. The lights flickered sometimes, and the tables were old and scratched. But it was cheap, and it served drinks to any species that could pay. That made it popular with cargo haulers, miners, and anyone else who worked hard for little money. Daeho walked into the pub first. He was a human in his 30s with strong arms and a friendly face. Behind him came Hyunwoo, who was taller and more careful about everything. Last came Jiwon, the only woman on their crew. She was smaller than the men but could fix any engine in the galaxy. They found a table near the back and sat down. Their ship had just finished a long cargo run and they were tired. Daeho ordered 3 beers from a blue alien with tentacles who worked as the waiter. The alien's name was Plix and he had run this pub for 20 years. Long trip? Plix asked as he brought their drinks. 3 weeks, Daeho said. We hauled mining equipment to the edge colonies. I'm glad to be back. Plix nodded and went to serve other customers. The pub was half full tonight. In one corner, some Brecken miners sat drinking something that smoked. The Brecken looked like rocks come to life with gray skin and slow movements. Near the bar, a group of Quillara were talking in their bubble-like language. The Quillara were water breathers who wore special suits filled with liquid. Jiwon took a long drink of her beer. I need a week off. My back hurts from crawling around in the engine room. We all need a break, Hyunwoo said quietly. He was always quiet. Before he became a cargo pilot, he had been a soldier. He didn't talk about those days much. Daeho was about to agree when the door opened. 5 aliens walked in and the whole pub went quieter. These were Vorthax warriors. Everyone in the galaxy knew about the Vorthax. They looked like giant insects standing on 2 legs with hard shells covering their bodies and 4 arms each. They were the best fighters in known space. Their shells were harder than steel, and they trained for combat from the day they were born. The Vorthax were loud as they walked to the bar. Their leader was bigger than the others, with red markings on his shell. He ordered drinks in a harsh voice that clicked and buzzed. Plix served them quickly and carefully. Nobody wanted trouble with Vorthax warriors. For a while, everything was fine. The Vorthax drank and talked among themselves. Daeho and his crew relaxed and ordered food. The pub slowly got louder again as other customers stopped worrying. Then the Vorthax leader started talking louder. His name was Threxus, and he had clearly drunk too much. He was telling stories about battles, about enemies he had defeated. His voice carried across the whole pub. And then there were the pirates on Kelvin 7, Threxus said. They thought they were tough. But they broke like twigs. All of them. Weak species all across this galaxy. Weak and soft, his friends laughed, making clicking sounds. Threxus looked around the pub, his big eyes landing on different species. Look at them, miners, traders, haulers, no warriors here. Just soft creatures who hide behind their ships and their laws. Daeho felt Hyunwoo tense next to him. Ignore it, Daeho said quietly. He's drunk, but Threxus wasn't done. His eyes found their table. Humans, he said, almost spitting the word. The softest of all. From a gentle world with no real predators. They only survived first contact because we didn't notice them. Too small to bother with. Jiwon's face went red, but she stayed quiet. Daeho put a hand on Hyunwoo's arm. Not worth it, he whispered. Threxus stood up and walked toward their table. His forearms hung loose at his sides. He was huge up close, nearly 7 feet tall. His shell gleamed in the pub's dim light. Humans, Threxus said again. I heard you have females on your ships. That's funny. Females working like they're strong. He laughed, and his friends laughed with him. We should go, Jiwon said quietly. She started to stand up. As she did, Threxus moved his arm fast. He knocked his own drink off a nearby table, and it spilled all over Jiwon's shirt. The liquid was sticky and smelled bad. Oh, Threxus said, not sounding sorry at all. How clumsy of me. But I suppose it doesn't matter. Human females are just decorative anyway. Weak little things. They should stay on their soft world where it's safe. The pub went completely silent. Every alien stopped talking. Even the Brecken miners turned to watch. Hyunwoo stood up slowly. He wasn't as tall as Threxus, but he didn't look scared. Apologize to her, he said. His voice was calm and cold. Threxus laughed. Or what, soft-worlder? What will you do? I said apologize. Threxus leaned down, bringing his face close to Hyunwoo's. Make me. Daeho grabbed Hyunwoo's arm again. Don't, he's trying to start a fight. The Vorthax do this. It's some kind of honor thing for them. But Threxus heard him. Yes, an honor thing. Something humans wouldn't understand. You people don't fight. You just run and hide and make laws to protect your soft bodies. He poked Hyunwoo's chest with one of his 4 fingers. Go ahead. Try to make me apologize. I challenge you, a duel. First blood or submission, as is our way. Unless you're too scared. Hyunwoo looked at Jiwon. Her shirt was ruined and she looked angry and embarrassed. Then he looked at Threxus. I accept. No, Daeho said. Hyunwoo, don't be stupid. He'll kill you. But it was too late. The challenge was given and accepted. In Vorthak's culture, that meant it had to happen. Plix the bartender sighed loudly from across the room. He pressed some buttons on his console. Combat insurance activated, he announced sadly. Please clear a space. Medical team has been notified. The other customers quickly moved tables and chairs, making an open area in the middle of the pub. The Brecken miners talked quietly among themselves. The Quellara watched with their big eyes. Everyone seemed to think the same thing. The human was about to get hurt very badly. Threxus walked to the center of the cleared space. He stretched his forearms and cracked his neck. His shell was like armor. He had fought hundreds of times and never lost. Hyunwoo walked to face him. He rolled his shoulders and took a deep breath. Jiwon grabbed his arm. You don't have to do this, she said. Yes, I do, Hyunwoo said simply. Daeho watched his friend and felt fear in his stomach. Hyunwoo was tough, but he was still just a human. And Threxus was a Vorthak's warrior, trained since birth to fight and kill. The hard shell alone would be like punching a wall. Across the pub, aliens were already making bets on their communication devices. The odds were not good for Hyunwoo. Most bets said he would lose in under 30 seconds. Plix spoke up from the bar. Rules are simple. Fight until first blood or until someone submits. No weapons, no killing. If anyone dies, I lose my license. Understood? Both fighters nodded. Then begin. Threxus smiled, showing sharp mandibles. He raised all 4 arms into a fighting stance. Hyunwoo stood loose and ready, his hands up but not tight. The pub held its breath. Even the air filter seemed quieter. Everyone waited to see how fast the human would fall. Nobody expected what was about to happen. Nobody in that pub, or on that station, or in the entire galaxy truly understood what humans were capable of. They were about to learn, and the lesson would change everything. Threxus attacked first. He was fast, faster than something his size should be. His right arm shot forward in a double strike aimed at Hyunwoo's head. In Vorthak's fighting, this move usually ended things quickly. The force behind those arms could crack stone, but Hyunwoo moved. He didn't jump back like most species would. Instead, he stepped forward and to the side. His left arm came up and blocked both of Threxus's strikes at the forearm. There was a loud sound as shell met human bone. Threxus pulled back, confused. That block should have shattered the human's arm. He looked at Hyunwoo's arm, expecting to see it hanging broken. But Hyunwoo just shook his arm once and raised it again, ready. Around the pub, aliens leaned forward. That was strange. Very strange. Threxus tried again. This time he used all 4 arms, striking high and low at the same time. It was a combination that no 2-armed species could fully block. But Hyunwoo didn't try to block everything. He took 1 hit to his side, letting it glance off his ribs while he blocked the other 3 strikes with his arms and shoulder. Again, that sound of impact. Again, Hyunwoo stayed standing. He grunted from the hit to his side but didn't go down. What? One of the Vorthak's warriors said from the sideline. How is he still standing? Plix the bartender was watching with wide eyes. Next to him, a Quellara customer named Velix was recording everything on his device. This is impossible, Velix whispered. Vorthak strikes measure over 4,000 psi. That human should be unconscious. But Hyunwoo wasn't unconscious. He was moving forward now, starting to hit back. His punches were simple and direct. A jab to test distance, another jab, then a straight right hand aimed at Threxus's center mass. Threxus blocked it easily with his shell, but he felt the impact. The human hit hard. Not as hard as a Vorthak's maybe, but harder than a soft-worlder should be able to hit. They traded strikes for another minute. Threxus was landing hits. His fists connected with Hyunwoo's chest, his arms, his shoulders. Each hit would have put most species on the ground. But the human kept coming. His breathing was heavy but steady. His eyes stayed focused. Daeho watched from the side, his fists clenched. Jiwon stood next to him, her hand over her mouth. Why isn't he going down? She whispered. Because he's Hyunwoo, Daeho said quietly. Before he was a pilot, he was a combat instructor. Korean Marines. And before that, he boxed. He's been hit harder than this in training. A Brecken miner nearby heard this and turned. Your friend is a warrior? Was, Deho said. He doesn't like to talk about it. In the fighting space, Threxes was starting to breathe harder too. Vorthax fights usually lasted less than a minute. Most opponents either submitted or were knocked out quickly. But it had been 3 minutes now and this human was still fighting. Still blocking. Still throwing punches that actually hurt when they landed. Threxes tried a different approach. He rushed forward using his weight and strength to tackle Hyunwoo. They crashed into a table, breaking it. Threxes used his forearms to pin the human down. This should end it. No species could match Vorthak's strength in a grapple. But Hyunwoo twisted his body, using his legs for leverage. His knee came up hard into Threxes' midsection, right where the shell plates met. Threxes felt pain shoot through his body. The human's leg was like a hammer. Hyunwoo got one arm free and drove his elbow into the side of Threxes' head. The Vorthax's vision went blurry for a second. He had to let go and roll away. They both stood up. Threxes was breathing hard now. Hyunwoo had a cut above his left eye where Threxes' shell had scraped him. Blood ran down his face. First blood. By the rules, the fight should stop, but Hyunwoo didn't stop. He wiped the blood away and kept his hands up. That's first blood, Plix called from the bar. The duel can end. No, Hyunwoo said. He wanted to fight. We fight. Threxes felt something he hadn't felt in years, respect and also concern. This human was not normal. Nothing about this was normal. Around the pub, the aliens were talking excitedly. The Quillara named Velix was speaking into his communication device. You need to see this. A human is fighting a Vorthax warrior, and he's not losing. Yes, I'm serious. I'm sending you the video now. The Brecken miners were betting again, but this time some of them were betting on the human. The odds had changed. Threxes attacked again, but he was more careful now. He respected this opponent. His strikes were precise and powerful. He landed a hard punch to Hyunwoo's jaw. The human's head snapped to the side, but again Hyunwoo stayed standing. His jaw should be broken. That punch would have killed some species. But the human just spit blood onto the floor and raised his hands again. Your world, Threxes said, breathing hard. What kind of world makes creatures like you? A tough one, Hyunwoo said. Then he moved forward. This time, Hyunwoo changed his strategy. He had been defensive, testing and learning. Now he attacked. He slipped under Threxes' guard, taking a glancing hit to his shoulder to get inside. Once there, he unleashed a combination that made the watching aliens gasp. A knee strike to where he had hit before. An elbow to Threxes' side, then a punch with his full body weight behind it, aimed at Threxes' faceplate. The sound was loud. Threxes' head snapped back. His faceplate cracked. Blue blood called ichor started flowing from his mandibles. He stumbled backward, his forearms windmilling for balance. The pub went silent. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Threxes touched his face and looked at his hand. It was covered in his own blood. He looked at Hyunwoo, who stood ready for more, blood still running from his own cut. Two warriors, both bleeding, both still standing. Slowly, Threxes lowered his arms. I submit, he said quietly. The pub exploded with noise. Aliens were shouting in a dozen languages. Some were happy. Some were scared. Some were just confused. A human had just defeated a Vorthax warrior in single combat. That wasn't supposed to be possible. Hyunwoo lowered his hands and nodded at Threxes. Good fight. Threxes stared at him for a long moment. Then he did something his friends had never seen. He bowed. Just a small bow, but in Vorthax culture, it meant deep respect. Good fight, he agreed. I was wrong about your species. The other 4 Vorthax warriors were standing with their mouths open. One of them spoke in their own language, and Threxes answered sharply. Then he turned back to Hyunwoo. My warriors want to know your training. Where did you learn to fight? Earth, Hyunwoo said simply. We all learned to fight on Earth. All of you? Threxes asked. All humans can do this? Before Hyunwoo could answer, Ji-won stepped forward. She looked at Threxes and said, He's actually one of the good fighters. But yes, most humans learn some kind of fighting. We have schools for it, gyms, we even fight for sport. Sport? Threxes repeated. You fight each other for entertainment? Boxing, wrestling, martial arts, Deho added. It's fun. The Vorthax warriors looked at each other. Fun? Fighting was fun to humans? Plix came over with medical supplies. Let me look at both of you. He examined Threxus first, cleaning the ichor from his face. The crack in the faceplate wasn't deep, but it would need repair. Then he checked Hyunwoo. The cut above his eye needed sealing. He also had bruises forming on his ribs, arms, and jaw. "You should be in medical," Plix said. "These injuries are serious." "I'm fine," Hyunwoo said. "Just seal the cut," Plix did, shaking his head. "Humans," he muttered. Across the pub, Velix the Quillara was still recording. He had sent the video to his superiors in the diplomatic service. They would want to analyze this. Within hours, this footage would be on every major station in the galaxy. Everyone would see it. Everyone would start asking questions. The Brecken miners came over to Hyunwoo. The largest one, whose name was Gorik, clapped him on the shoulder with a hand like a boulder. "Good fight, human. I worked with your kind before. Always knew you were tougher than you looked, but this was something to see." More aliens approached, wanting to talk, to ask questions, to understand. How did a human do this? What else could they do? Were all humans this strong? This durable? Daeho saw the crowd forming and grabbed his crew. "We should go." "Agreed," Ji-won said. They tried to leave quietly, but it was too late. Everyone in the pub wanted to talk to them now. Plix had to shout for order. "Everyone back! Give them space!" They paid for drinks, not interviews. As they finally made it to the door, Threxus called out, "Human, what is your name?" Hyunwoo turned. "Hyunwoo, Hyunwoo," Threxus repeated, memorizing it. "I will remember it. And I will report this to my commanders. They need to know the truth about your species." Outside in the corridor, the three humans walked quickly toward their ship. None of them spoke until they were far from the pub. Finally, Ji-won said, "Did that really just happen?" "Yes," Daeho said. "Are we in trouble?" She asked. Daeho thought about it. About the video that was probably spreading. About the questions that would come. About how the galaxy was going to react when they realized they had completely misunderstood humanity. "Maybe," he said. "Probably. I don't know." Behind them, in the gravity well, Plix was already getting calls from the station authorities. They wanted the security footage. They wanted statements. They wanted to know everything that had happened. The galaxy was about to learn something important, something they should have known from the start. Earth was not a soft world, and humans were not soft creatures. The video reached the Vorthak's homeworld in less than 6 hours. It played in the War Council chambers, where the greatest warriors of their species gathered to plan campaigns and discuss threats. The room was built from dark metal with weapons hanging on every wall. These were trophies from 1,000 victories. War leader Threxus stood before the council. His faceplate was still cracked. He refused to repair it until after his report. He wanted them to see what a human had done to him. The council watched the video in silence. 7 senior warriors, each with more combat experience than most species could imagine. They watched Threxus attack. They watched the human block strikes that should have shattered bones. They watched their war leader submit to a soft-worlder. When the video ended, the chamber stayed quiet. Finally, the eldest warrior spoke. His name was Corvin, and he had won battles on 60 worlds. "Explain." Threxy stood straight. "I underestimated them. We all did. The human's bones did not break under my strikes. His body absorbed damage that should have been fatal. His endurance exceeded mine, and his combat skills were refined. He had training. Significant training. One human," Corvin said. "An exceptional individual, perhaps." "No, honored elder," Threxus said. He activated a hologram showing Dr. Kieran's research. "This is the xenobiology report from Nexus Station. The human I fought is not exceptional by their standards. He is average, perhaps slightly above average in training, but physically normal for his species." The council members leaned forward, reading the data. Their mandibles clicked as they processed the information. "High-gravity world," one warrior said. "That explains the bone density." "Persistence hunter evolution," another added. "Built for endurance combat. Natural combat enhancement chemicals in their blood," a third noted. "Like a permanent combat drug." Corvin was reading the human history files. "They fight each other. For sport. For training. They have schools that teach combat to civilians. They have competitions where they beat each other unconscious, and they call it entertainment." "Yes, honored elder," Threxus said. "The human told me this himself. Fighting is fun for them." The council was quiet again. Fun. Combat was fun for humans. The Vorthax trained for war out of duty and honor, but humans did it for enjoyment. How many humans are there? Corvin asked. Threxus checked the data, approximately 12 billion on their homeworld. Another 2 billion spread across their colonies. They have a standing military of approximately 40 million trained soldiers. The number hung in the air. The entire Vorthax warrior caste numbered only 200,000. Quality over quantity had always been their way. But if human quality was close to Vorthax quality, and their quantity was that much higher, we need to reassess, Corvin said. Immediately. Send ambassadors to Earth not to threaten, to talk, to understand, and to propose an alliance before someone else does. Agreed, the other council members said together. Corvan looked at Threxus. You fought well. You recognized your error and reported it honestly. There is honor in that. You will lead the diplomatic mission to Earth. Threxus bowed. It would be my honor. Across the galaxy in the Quellara homeworld's floating cities, the diplomatic council was also meeting. The Quellara were water breathers who prided themselves on never fighting wars. They won through talking, through trade agreements, through patience. They had ended conflicts through attrition, watching aggressive species exhaust themselves while the Quellara simply outlasted them. Now they watched the same video and read the same reports. If humans can endure like this, the High Diplomat said, then our attrition strategy won't work against them. They're built for long campaigns, for suffering losses and continuing. Their history shows wars that lasted years, decades even, and they never stopped. We've won wars by waiting, another diplomat said, by letting the enemy drain their resources. But human history shows they fight even when losing. They don't give up. Then we must ensure we never fight them, the High Diplomat decided. Open trade negotiations, favorable terms, cultural exchanges. We bind them with friendship and commerce. Make war between us unthinkable. Agreed. On Brecon Prime, the miners were less worried. The Brecon were strong and tough, with rocky skin that could shrug off small-caliber weapons. They had worked alongside humans for years. Now the other Brecon were listening to their stories. We tried to tell you, Gorok said to the Planetary Council. He was the same Brecon who had been in the gravity well during the fight. Humans work hard. They don't complain. They survive things that kill other species. We thought everyone knew. We thought you were exaggerating, a council member admitted. Not exaggerating. Humans are tough, but they're also fair. Good to work with. They share water during hard shifts. They help when someone is injured. They're good people. The Brecon Council discussed this. Finally, they decided to propose joint mining operations. If humans could survive in the same harsh conditions that Brecon could, there were rich asteroid fields that only they could work together. On dozens of other worlds, governments were making similar calculations. Some saw opportunity, some saw threat, but everyone was reassessing everything they thought they knew about humanity. Earth's government was watching all of this with confusion and growing concern. Ambassador Sora sat in her office on the orbital station, reading reports from across the galaxy. Her communication console hadn't stopped flashing in 12 hours. Ma'am, her assistant said, the Vorthax High Command is requesting a meeting. So is the Quellara Diplomatic Council, and the Brecon, and 17 other governments. They all want to talk to us immediately. Sora rubbed her temples. She had been Earth's ambassador to the Galactic Council for 5 years. In that time, most species had barely acknowledged humans existed. Now everyone wanted to talk at once. What happened? Her assistant asked. Sora showed him the video of Hyunwoo fighting Threxus. This happened. One bar fight and suddenly the galaxy realizes we're not helpless. Are we going to be okay? I don't know, Sora admitted. Some species will want to be our friends now. Others will be afraid of us. And we didn't do anything different. We've been this tough the whole time. They just never noticed. She opened a communication channel to Earth's government. This is Ambassador Sora. We have a situation. The galaxy has discovered that humans are more physically capable than they realized. Every major government is requesting meetings. I need guidance on how to proceed. Back on Earth in Geneva, the United Earth Council met in emergency session. The chamber was full of representatives from every nation and major colony. Screens showed the video of the fight. Data from Dr. Kiran's report scrolled past. Is this accurate? The council chair asked the chief science advisor. Yes, the advisor said. Compared to most galactic species, we are exceptionally durable. High bone density, efficient healing, strong cardiovascular systems. Our evolution on Earth made us hardy by galactic standards. Why didn't we know this? We did know, the advisor said. Our xenobiology teams reported it years ago. But it didn't seem important. We were focused on technology, on trade, on being good galactic citizens. We didn't think our physical capabilities mattered because we weren't planning to fight anyone. But now it matters. The council chair said. Now it matters, the advisor. Agreed. The council debated for hours. Finally, they gave Ambassador Sora her instructions. Earth would be open to all diplomatic overtures. They would emphasize peace and cooperation, but they would not apologize for being tough. It wasn't something they chose. It was just what they were. Sora prepared her speech. In 3 days, she would address the full Galactic Council. Every species would be watching. She needed to get this right. Meanwhile, on Nexus Station, Deho and his crew were trying to leave quietly, but it was impossible. Everywhere they went, aliens stared. Some looked scared. Some looked curious. Some looked impressed. I hate this, G1 said as they walked through the main concourse. Everyone is looking at us. At least they're not calling us soft anymore, Deho said. A group of young Quilara approached them. They were students judging by their academic suits. Excuse me, one said in hesitant standard. Are you the humans from the video? The ones who fought the Vorthax? One of us did, Deho said carefully. Can we ask questions? For our xenobiology class? Hyunwoo sighed but nodded. The students asked about Earth, about human training, about sports, about how humans could be so durable. Hyunwoo answered patiently, though he looked tired. Do all humans know how to fight? One student asked. Most of us learn something, Hyunwoo said. Self-defense, sports, martial arts. It's common. But that doesn't mean we want to fight. It just means we can if we need to. That's scary, the student said honestly. It doesn't have to be, G1 said. We're the same people we were last week. Nothing about us changed. You just understand us better now. The students thanked them and left. Deho watched them go. She's right, he said. We haven't changed. But everything around us is changing. Hyunwoo looked around the station, at the aliens who watched them pass, at the new respect and the new fear in their eyes. We just wanted to haul cargo, he said. I know, Deho said. Now we're representatives of human toughness or something. I know. I don't like it. Me neither, Deho admitted. But it's what we've got. We deal with it. The Galactic Council chamber was designed to hold representatives from 200 species. It was a massive sphere floating in space, with each delegation having their own section adjusted for their specific needs. Some sections were filled with water. Some had different gravity. Some had atmospheres that would kill most other species. But everyone could see and hear each other through advanced translation systems. Today, every seat was filled. This had never happened before. Usually, most species sent junior diplomats to routine sessions. But today, everyone came. Prime ministers, war leaders, high diplomats. Everyone wanted to see what would happen when Earth explained itself. Ambassador Sora stood in the human section. It was a simple area with normal gravity and Earth-standard atmosphere. Just a podium and a few chairs. Humans didn't need anything fancy. That fact felt different now. Before it seemed humble. Now it seemed almost threatening. Humans could survive in the most basic conditions because they were tough enough not to need help. The council chair, an elderly Quilara named Plixus, called the session to order. We are here to discuss the recent revelations about humanity. Ambassador Sora of Earth has requested to address this body. The floor is yours, Ambassador. Sora stepped to the podium. She wore a simple blue suit. No weapons, no guards. Just one human woman facing the entire galaxy. She looked calm. Thank you, Chair Plixus, she began. I stand before you today because of a bar fight. One fight in one pub between one human and one Vorthax warrior. This fight revealed something the galaxy didn't know about my species. But I want to be clear about something from the start. She paused and looked around the chamber. We didn't hide this information. We didn't keep it secret. It was in all of our first contact files. Our biology. Our evolution. Our capabilities. It was always there. You just didn't pay attention because we weren't causing problems. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some species looked uncomfortable. She was right. The information had been available all along. Let me tell you about Earth, Sora continued. Our world has gravity that you now know is high by galactic standards. We evolved alongside predators that could kill us easily. We had to become tough just to survive childhood. For millions of years, we were both hunters and prey. We learned to endure pain because the alternative was death. We learned to heal from injuries because we couldn't afford not to. We became what we are because our world demanded it. She pulled up a hologram showing Earth, green and blue, beautiful from space. But here's what else our world taught us. It taught us cooperation. Humans are not lone hunters. We survived by working together, by forming tribes, then villages, then cities, then nations. We learned that we're stronger together than apart. It taught us empathy. When you live on a world where injuries are common, you learn to care for the wounded. We developed medicine. We built hospitals. We created systems to help those who couldn't help themselves. It taught us the value of peace. Yes, we can fight. Yes, we're good at it. But we also know the cost of violence. We know what it's like to bury friends, to suffer losses, to watch communities destroyed by war. And we decided as a species that we wanted something better. The chamber was silent now. Every species was listening. When we reached space, Sora said, we saw the galaxy you had built. Laws, trade, diplomacy, systems to resolve conflicts without war. And we wanted to be part of that. Not because we were weak. Not because we couldn't fight. But because we chose peace. She looked directly at the Vorthax delegation. War Leader Threxus sat there, his cracked faceplate still unrepaired. War Leader Threxus learned something important in that pub. He learned that we can fight. But I hope he also learned that we don't want to. He insulted my people. He insulted one of our females. He pushed until one of us had to respond. And when Hyunwoo won, he didn't gloat. He didn't threaten. He offered respect to his opponent. Threxus stood. The ambassador speaks truth. The human warrior fought with honor. And when I submitted, he accepted my submission with grace. There was no cruelty, only respect. Thank you, War Leader, Sora said. She turned back to the council. This is who humans are. We're tough because we had to be. We're skilled at violence because our history required it. But we're peaceful because we choose to be. And that choice is more important than our capabilities. Now many of you are afraid, she continued. You're looking at human durability, human endurance, human numbers, and you're worried. I understand that. But ask yourselves this question. In the years we've been part of the galactic community, have we threatened anyone? Have we conquered? Have we bullied? Have we done anything except trade fairly, follow your laws, and try to be good neighbors? Silence answered her, because the answer was no. Humans had been quiet, peaceful members of the galactic community. We haven't changed, Sora said. We're the same species today that we were last week. The only difference is that now you understand us better. And understanding should lead to friendship, not fear. The Quillara delegation stirred. Their high diplomat, Kelvin, stood to speak. Ambassador Sora, the Quillara have reviewed your species' history. You are correct that you choose peace. But your history also shows you're capable of devastating wars. Wars that lasted years. Wars with massive casualties on both sides. How do we know you won't bring that violence to the galaxy? Sora nodded. A fair question. Yes, we fought terrible wars on Earth. We made horrible mistakes. But we learned from them. We saw where violence led and we chose a different path. That's why we created United Earth. That's why we joined the galactic community. We want to be better than our history. And if someone attacks you? Kelvin asked. If someone sees your capabilities as a threat and strikes first? Then we'll defend ourselves, Sora said simply. We're not pacifists. We won't just die to make others comfortable. But defense is not the same as aggression. We'll fight if we must. But we'll always try diplomacy first. A small species called the Miralons spoke next. They were tiny creatures, barely 3 feet tall, with delicate bodies. Ambassador Sora, their representative said in a high voice. My people are not warriors. We're not strong. We've survived by being useful, by being smart, by having powerful friends protect us. Would humans protect species like ours? Or would you only respect strength? Sora smiled. That's a beautiful question. And my answer is this. Humans don't just respect strength. We respect courage, intelligence, kindness, and creativity. We respect anyone who tries to make the galaxy better. And yes, we protect those who need protection. That's part of who we are. We were prey once too. We remember what it's like to be vulnerable. The Mirellan representative looked relieved. Several other small species in the chamber relaxed visibly. The Brecken delegation spoke next. Gorak himself was there. We Brecken have worked with humans for years. We knew they were tough. We respect that. We propose expanded cooperation, joint mining in hazardous zones, fair splits of all profits, humans and Brecken working together. Earth would welcome that, Sora said. One by one, delegations spoke. The Vorthax proposed military training exchanges and mutual defense agreements. The Quellara offered increased trade deals and cultural exchanges. Smaller species asked about protection agreements. Scientists asked about studying human biology. Everyone had questions, proposals, or concerns. Sora answered them all patiently. Yes to cooperation. Yes to friendship. Yes to trade. No to military bases on alien worlds without mutual agreement. No to being anyone's personal army. No to changing who humans were to make others comfortable. Finally, Chair Plixus spoke. The council must deliberate. Ambassador Sora, you've given us much to consider. We'll vote on several proposals regarding humanity's status in the galactic community. Please wait outside while we discuss. Sora bowed and left. She waited in a small room outside the chamber. Her hands shook slightly now that no one could see. She had just spoken for her entire species. She hoped she had done it right. After 2 hours, she was called back. The chamber was quiet as she entered. Chair Plixus announced the council's decision. The Galactic Council has voted. We recognize humanity as what we're officially calling a resilient Deathworld species. This classification comes with several provisions. First, exploitation of humans for labor or combat is strictly prohibited. Any species found forcing humans into dangerous work will face severe penalties. Second, Earth is granted a seat on the Council Security Committee. Your species' unique capabilities make you valuable for peacekeeping operations. Third, any conflicts involving humans must go through mandatory arbitration. We will not allow misunderstandings to escalate into violence. Fourth, Earth is invited to participate in increased cultural and scientific exchanges with all interested species. Finally, this council extends its friendship to humanity. We recognize that your strength comes with responsibility, and we trust that you'll use it wisely. The chamber erupted in a mix of reactions. Some species applauded in their own ways. Some looked nervous. But no one objected. The vote had passed. Sora felt tears threatening but held them back. On behalf of Earth and all humanity, we accept these terms. We're honored by your trust. We won't betray it. 6 months later, life had settled into a new normal. Deho's crew was back at Nexus Station, delivering cargo just like always. Commander Velios arrived at the gravity well exactly 20 minutes after the fight ended. He was Quellara, which meant he moved in a walking suit filled with water. Through the clear parts of his suit, you could see his fins moving as he breathed. He had been the head of station security for 20 years and thought he had seen everything. He was wrong. Show me, he said to Plix. The bartender brought up the security footage on his console. Velios watched in silence. His large eyes got wider as the video played. He watched it once. Then he watched it again. Then a third time. This is real? He asked. No editing? No tricks? Every camera in the pub recorded it, Plix said. Different angles, all the same result. The human won. Velios was quiet for a moment. Then he pressed a button on his suit. This is Commander Velios. I need Dr. Kirin at the gravity well immediately. And bring the full xenobiology analysis kit. He paused. And contact the human crew. Tell them they need to come back for questioning. Not arrested. Just questions. Be polite. An hour later, Dr. Kirin arrived. She was from a crystalline species, looking like a walking collection of purple gemstones. She moved with clicking sounds as her crystal joints rubbed together. She was the station's best xenobiology expert. You pulled me from my research for a bar fight? She asked Velios. Watch first, judge later. Dr. Kirin watched the footage. Her crystal face didn't show emotion the way other species did. But her body went very still. That was how her kind showed surprise. Play that section again, she said, where the Vorthax hits the human's arm. Velios replayed it. And there, where the human takes the strike to his ribs. Replay. And the final combination. Replay. Dr. Kirin turned to Velios. I need that human in my medical bay now. I need scans. Full body analysis. This doesn't make sense. What doesn't make sense? Plix asked. Everything, Dr. Kirin said simply. The human took strikes measuring over 4,000 psi, multiple times. His bones should be powder. His organs should be ruptured. He should be dead or comatose. But he walked out of here on his own feet. Adrenaline, Velios suggested. No adrenaline in the known galaxy does that, Dr. Kieran said. I need to examine him. I need data, because what I just saw violates every principle of xenobiology I know. The 3 humans were brought back to the pub. They didn't look happy about it. Hyun-woo had a medical seal over the cut above his eye and bruises forming on his face. But he was walking fine. Talking fine. He even smiled when he saw Plix. Are we in trouble? Daeho asked Velios. No, the commander said. But we have questions. And Dr. Kieran needs to scan your friend. Why? Ji-won asked, immediately suspicious. Dr. Kieran stepped forward. Because what he did should be impossible. I need to understand how he survived impacts that would kill most species. It's not punishment. It's science, Hyun-woo shrugged. Fine, but make it quick. We have cargo schedules. They went to the medical bay. Dr. Kieran ran every scan she had. Bone density scans, muscle composition analysis, cardiovascular efficiency tests, organ durability measurements. She took blood samples. She measured his pain threshold. She tested his reaction time. The results made her go very still again. This is wrong, she said quietly. All of this is wrong. What do you mean wrong? Hyun-woo asked. Dr. Kieran pulled up a hologram showing his skeleton. Your bones. The density is 0.83 on the galactic scale. Do you know what that means? No. The average for most species is 0.45. Vorthax, the best warriors in known space, measure 0.72. Your bones are denser than Vorthax bones, by a significant margin. She pulled up more data. Your muscle tissue. It repairs itself at 3 times the rate of most species. Your cardiovascular system can deliver oxygen at efficiency levels that should be impossible for your body size. Your pain tolerance is off the charts. And this, she highlighted something in his blood. You have a chemical in your system. We call it the combat enhancement hormone. Most species produce tiny amounts when threatened. You produce it in quantities that would be toxic to other species, and your body uses it like fuel. You mean adrenaline? Ji-won asked. Is that what you call it? Dr. Kieran pulled up more information. It increases your strength, your speed, your pain tolerance. It's like a combat drug, but your body makes it naturally, and you don't die from it. Remarkable. Commander Velios was reading the data on his own display. Doctor, what are you saying? I'm saying humans are not what we thought they were, Dr. Kieran said. She turned to the 3 humans. Tell me about your world, Earth. Daeho spoke first. It's a nice planet. Lots of water. We have forests and cities and the gravity, Dr. Kieran interrupted. What is the gravity? 1G, Daeho said. Standard Earth gravity. That's why it's called 1G. Dr. Kieran's crystals clicked together rapidly. That was how her species laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. 1G is not standard. 1G is high. Most species evolved on worlds with 0.6 to 0.8 G. You evolved on a heavy world. We did? Ji-won asked. Yes, that's why your bones are so dense, your muscles so strong. Your entire body is built for higher gravity than most of us can survive comfortably. Dr. Kieran pulled up more information. And the predators? Your evolutionary history shows you were both hunter and hunted. You evolved to chase down prey over long distances, and to run from things that wanted to eat you. For thousands of years. Well, yes, Hyun-woo said. That's how evolution works. Not for most species. Dr. Kieran's voice was rising. Most species evolved on gentler worlds. Lower gravity. Fewer predators. They developed intelligence and tools quickly because they needed them less for basic survival. But you? You needed to be tough first. Smart second. You're built like soldiers just to survive on your own planet. The room was quiet. Velios was looking at his display, reading something. Doctor, he said slowly. I pulled up the first contact files on humans. The initial survey? It's all here. We had this information from the start. What information? Daeho asked. Velios read from his screen. Earth, gravity 1.0 G high by galactic standards. Atmospheric oxygen level 21%. Higher than most worlds. Predator density marked as extreme. Evolutionary history shows persistence hunting and predator evasion as primary survival traits. Recovery capability from injury is marked as unusually high. And there's a note here. Human recreational activities include physical combat sports, extreme environment exposure, and endurance challenges. Recommended approach, non-aggressive contact. Humans prefer diplomatic solutions but have significant defensive capabilities. You had all this? G1 asked. And you thought we were soft? Nobody reads the full files, Velios admitted. We saw that humans were new to space travel. That you traded peacefully. That you followed galactic laws. We made assumptions. You assumed we were weak because we were nice, Deho said. Yes, Velios said simply. Dr. Kieran was still studying the data. There's more. Your healing rate. Humans can recover from broken bones, torn muscles. Even damaged organs can partially regenerate. That's not common. Most species never fully heal from serious injuries. But you do. She pulled up another file. And I found reports now. Other incidents we didn't pay attention to. A human miner survived a tunnel collapse on Brecon 4. He was buried under rocks for 6 hours. Any other species would have died. He walked out with broken ribs and a collapsed lung. 2 weeks later, he was back at work. That was Sang Min, Hyunwoo said. He's on our station message boards. Tough guy. Tough? Dr. Kieran repeated. He should be dead. But he just healed and went back to work. She found another file. Here, a human soldier in the pirate conflicts. Shot 3 times. Kept fighting until the battle was over. Then walked to medical on his own. Recovered fully in a month. Standard combat training, Hyunwoo said. You fight until the threat is gone. Then you get medical help. That's insane, Velios said. That's survival, Hyunwoo replied. Dr. Kieran sat down. Her crystals were still clicking, but slower now. We need to report this. To the Council. To everyone. The galaxy has completely misunderstood humanity. You're not soft traders who got lucky. You're survivors from a death world. Death world? Shiwan asked. A world so dangerous that evolution builds its creatures to be nearly indestructible, Dr. Kieran explained. There are only 3 confirmed death worlds in the galaxy. Now there are 4, and one of them has a species that travels in space. That changes everything. Velios was typing rapidly on his console. I'm sending this report to the Council, and to the Vorthax High Command. They challenged a human without understanding what humans are. They need to know. Will we be in trouble? Deho asked again. No, Velios said. But your species might be. Once this information spreads, every government in the galaxy will want to reassess their relationship with Earth. Some will want alliances. Some will want to avoid you. Some might even be afraid. Afraid of us? G1 asked. We just want to haul cargo and live peacefully. I know, Velios said. But you just proved that humans can fight Vorthax warriors and win. The Vorthax are the most feared military force in the galaxy. If humans can match them in individual combat and humans have millions of soldiers, he trailed off. The implications hung in the air. Humans weren't just tough. They were potentially one of the most formidable species in the galaxy. And nobody,